Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Thursday night Team Delicious Wealth Call. So if you are watching this live, then you know that some of us just came back from some events. So there is a lot of information that we have. We're going to try and do little bite-sized nuggets of what we learned at Next Level U and Sweet Retreat so that you can get some of the information that we learned while we were out there. And then what we'll do to finish out the call, we will go ahead and start talking about Celavive bonuses and how you can incorporate different ways into, Celavive into your business to either get bigger, bonus checks or new customers or just kind of, change it up a little bit. So first event that just happened is Next Level U, and Next Level U is amazing. So I do have to say, because it is in Florida, I am pretty thrilled with Next Level U. It's really close for me. I don't have to drive that far. It is held every year. Normally it is held in January. Normally it is held in Florida. Sometimes they do change it up. So one of the reasons why I like to do both events, if I can, Next Level U and Sweet Retreat, is Next Level U is an event where you can learn very hard skills. So it is very detailed. It's very driver based, which is a personality type. It is very analytical. It is very A plus B plus C plus D. Whereas Sweet Retreat is like that, but inverted. It's very soft. It's a lot of softer skills, a lot of emotional skills that you learn. So I do feel, especially as a female entrepreneur, that there is a value for both. And I think that some people might shy away from one or the other event because of their personality. They may say, well, I want to learn more of the soft skills. Let me just go to Sweet Retreat. Or I want to learn more of the hard skills. Let me go to only Next Level U. When in reality, when they're paired up with each other, they're really, really good skills to learn. And this event at Next Level U, we actually had the CEO of USANA come and talk to us, which was amazing. So one of the things I kind of wanted to go ahead and talk about from Next Level U was looking at different ways of how to fit it all in, and also looking at different ways that you need to look at delegating and interacting differently. So one of the speakers, his name was Andre, he was talking about, how do you, or her name is Andre. She was talking about, like, how do you, fit it all in as a wife, as a mother, as a business owner, and she was talking about what she used to do before she had USANA as a full-time income. And she wanted to challenge you to say, what are your top 5 priorities? And, kind of make them a little bit generic. Like, you don't have to just put a person's name. You could put family, for example. Instead of putting like a kid or a spouse, you could just put family. So she challenged you to write, what were your top 5 priorities? And then list all of those out. So if you want to go ahead and write them down, you're more than welcome to. I'll go over mine were. So my first priority is always my family. So that means my fur babies and my family and my husband and my parents, that whole family unit. My second value and top priority is my motorcycle business. My third value is USANA. My fourth value is having enough space in my life to feel like I've got flexibility. And then my fifth value is growth. So I went and did the 5 different priorities. And then the other thing what she asked you to do is, sometimes people just stop at that level of prioritization. But what she was saying, as your business grows, as you grow, as you want to up level to that next step, you need to write on the second half on that, and you need to write, okay, so who is, and she called it your life team. So who is your life team for every single one of your values that's helping you achieve that value? So for me, I'll give you an example for it to be tangible. So I want more space in my life and I want more flexibility. So for that, I have a cleaning girl that comes and cleans the house. She cleans the shop. I have a bookkeeper. I have an accountant. I have a handy woman that we're interviewing. These are things that, yes, I technically could do them all, but then if I am always the one, or Ben is always the one doing everything, we have no space. Oh, Mom can't hear. It's being recorded. She can't see me. Let me see. Let's see if I have a piece of paper. I can't hear you. Hold on, let's let me text her real quick. Okay. So that's just an example, just kind of jump back in. That's just an example of a life team of people that are there, you know, whether it's a very small aspect or a very large aspect of helping me create the values that I want in my life. Another example of a life team in regards to family is, to be honest, is my vet. You know, I know that there are things that I can't control. There's things I can't do. And I want to make sure my animals are super healthy and I don't have to want to worry about like diagnosing things myself. So that's another person that supports my family staying super healthy so that I don't have to worry about it. Or it can even be something that you do. So if it's a family thing, so say you know, have life or family as a top priority, a thing that you can do is you could say, okay, well then we're going to do dinner at the table every night, or we're going to do Sunday dinners as a family, like something that is very tangible that helps support that goal and that value. So I thought that that was one of the really most impactful things that she was talking about. And then once you've gone through your list, you have your 5 priorities and you have your 5 portions of the life team that are supporting that priorities. She wanted you to go and talk about 5 big goals that you need to be delegating. And it may be things that, you know, are outside of your reach at the moment, or it may be something that you're doing right now and you just haven't stopped to actually delegate, because she always comes back to, for you to go ahead and next level, for you to get the growth that you want, you have to create space in your life. And that's honestly why space is one of my top values. When you have enough space in your life, you have the opportunity to say yes to an event, or yes to going out with some friends, or yes to downtime and self-care. But when you have no space in your life and everything is just like back to back to back to back to back, nothing has the opportunity to grow. It's the same concept as gardening. If you have a garden and it's completely full with fruits and vegetables and all the things you want it to grow, but yet you never weed the garden, the garden and the vegetables are never going to grow right. They're going to grow, but everything is going to be stunted. Versus if you're constantly weeding and pulling things out, same thing, pulling things out that you shouldn't be doing, you should be outsourcing, you need to just straight up cancel, then your plants, which are your goals, they've got more room to grow. And there's also more nutrients in the soil. So, you know, to kind of taking it even a deeper level, when you've got more space in your life, there's more brain availability, there's more cognitive availability, there's more emotional availability, there's more spiritual availability. And you may not see that having that downtime is something that's super valuable, but you know, while you're having that downtime, then that can be the difference of you coming up with a really great idea that you wouldn't have come up with, or going to a place that you never would have gone to because you didn't have time. So space is something that should be really valued. And I liked how she had like the 3 categories of 5 different things. What are your top 5 values? What are you doing to have that top 5 values be supported? And you know, who? And then the last one was, what 5 top things did you need to delegate? And then the other thing I wanted to kind of go over with for next level you is there was a lot, and I mean a lot, of training around like social media and how to interact. And one of the things that they were saying in regards to social media and interacting and all of that was that at the end of the day, social media needs to be a tool that you use. It shouldn't be something that you get sucked up in. It shouldn't take up, you know, crazy amounts of your time. They do recommend, if you can, if you're not doing it already, go ahead and post once a day. You know, there's tons of tools out there like Buffer or Latergram or other tools that if you need to, like I personally schedule out all my social media. Unless it's a spur of the moment item, I'm not posting live. I still put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into it, but you don't have to be physically showing up every single day for it to be showing up on social media every single day. And they were also saying for anything social media related, try and not do any product posts or any business posts. You want it to be every either 5th or every 9th post, only because if people are looking on Instagram or people looking on Facebook, you don't want it to come across as spammy. It's one thing if it's like kind of in the background and it's a part of your life and you are not consciously doing it. But if you're trying to talk about a reset kit, or if you're trying to talk about a Celavive kit or anything specific, try and have that either every 5th post or every 9th post. So when you're using a scheduling tool, it makes it a lot simpler. So you don't look at the, the week or the month, and you can be like, okay, I'm talking too much about one topic, and to kind of scale back a little bit. Another thing that they were saying is, if you can, to at the end of every social media post, make sure you're asking a question, regardless of whether people are responding or not to the question. People are always watching, whether they tell you or not, or whether they like your things or not. And on top of the fact that they're always watching, it gets you, the bigger skill that it teaches you is it gets you in the habit of creating the conscious decision to always ask a question. In USANA, we should be doing a lot more asking of questions than we should be of talking. And that's how we find out someone's need. That's how we help them achieve a goal, do their desires, whatever the scenario is. So it's really good practice to just ask at the end of every social media post, or as many as you can, do, ask a question. And then another phrase, and I think this was probably my favorite phrase from Next Level You, was don't use the word busy, but instead use the word full agenda. Everyone is always talking about like, oh my God, I'm so busy. I have this, I have that. I never have time. One of the things that we want to get you away from is having that verbiage, having that language, because not only is it consciously telling everyone and everything that you don't have time for anything else. It could be just going out for drinks with some friends, but if you're constantly using the phrase, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, you're automatically repelling people from wanting to interact with you, because that's what you're implementing in their brain. Oh my God, so-and-so is always so busy. Well, let me not invite her. Versus if you have a full agenda, it's kind of a more of a neutral term. But at the same time, it's one of those things that agenda gives people the sense of planned. It's thought out, it's conscious, and there's room. I know that when I use the word, I have a full schedule or full agenda, or let me look at my calendar, it's a very conscious thing for me to say, yes, I obviously have a lot of things on my plate, but I can always make time for things that are important to me, versus giving this impression that you're always busy. It's just not healthy. And it shouldn't be something that's a badge of honor, and I've had people ask like, okay, well, what if I don't have a full schedule, but, I want to just have a downtime every, my down day is Wednesdays. I don't really book anything on Wednesdays. So I tell them I'm booked out on Wednesdays. Self-care is allowed to be on your calendar, and it's allowed to be an appointment. So if that means going out to the beach or the park, or going and chit-chatting with your girlfriends, or whatever self-care looks like for you, then feel free to put that on the calendar and then step back and look at, what does the calendar actually look like? Does it look super full? Does it look overcluttered? Is there even room for any of that self-care? Because it's something that you should be doing to refill your cup. And it's also something that is really important to help you stay balanced as you're building your USANA business. So those were kind of like my favorite highlights from Next Level You. And I will definitely say, I want to say, yes, the link is in the email that the team receives every single week. For the 2018 session of Next Level You, they are offering all of the trainings, all the recordings that I sat through for 2 days. They're offering that, I want to say it was like $100, and you get a year of the replays. So if it's something that you are interested in, you get 2.5 days worth of trainings for $100 versus having to go there and travel and pay for all of that. So that link is at the very bottom of the email under additional resources if you want to purchase that. And then, like I said, the videos and trainings are good for a year. Okay, so switching gears a little bit to Sweet Retreat. Like I was saying earlier, Sweet Retreat is very soft in its skills. It's very feminine. There was dancing. There was a ton of pop music. There was a ton of goodies and treats, and just a bunch of girls, because it's girls only event. It was a bunch of girls just taking time to be there and be happy and to look at things that make them glow. So again, it's a lot more soft skills. And I'd probably say my favorite class out of all of it was, there's this one class near the end of the sessions, the end of the event, called Balancing Your Feminine and Masculine Energy. And then when it came to that, I'll see if I have the slides on my phone so I can post some of the slides. But what she was talking about is that it's extremely easy in USANA to kind of shift completely one way or the other. So feminine could be you like to do a lot of helping, you like to do a lot of supporting of other people, but you're not really getting momentum because all you're doing is giving. That's very feminine, that's very nurturing. And then there's people on the other end of the spectrum that all they do is want results and they work, but they don't do any of the balancing. They don't take care of themselves. They don't take care of their family. They don't put anything that's a priority first. So what she was saying is that there is actually supposed to be a balance depending on what chakra you're at. There's supposed to be a balance of feminine and masculine energy at every single chakra. And that it's not supposed to be something where, you know, you're always going to be working, you're always going to be doing this, or you're always going to be nurturing, but you should be floating throughout the day between both energies. And I loved it. I wish you guys could have seen it. She gave the example when you're dominant in one energy or the other. So if you're always in work mode, it's as if you're walking around with one foot. And she was hopping around on the stage with one foot. And she's like, that's the equivalent of walking around in one energy versus, you know, using both energies. She said both energies looks like walking with 2 feet. You get to have a balance, you get to have a shift. One is always kind of dominant because one is always doing the weight in supporting you, but the other one is quickly right behind you to go ahead and take the slack. And it's kind of a balance back and forth. And so what she was also saying in regards to the feminine masculine energy is that and I do have the slides, I just have to find them and I can email them for next week or put them in the Facebook group. But it's very easy when you have been in one energy for too long and you're not used to balancing back and forth, then you can go ahead and kind of use it as a scapegoat. So someone that is kind of unreasonably bitter is too much in their feminine energy because they're looking for someone else to take responsibility for things that they should be taking responsibility of, whether that is the situation, whether that's letting go, whether that's finding peace. So that's an example of like over abusing the feminine energy. Over abusing the masculine energy could be very blunt, very rude, very argumentative, very closed-minded. And both of those energies are really, really bad. And same thing for guys. Guys should be a balance of feminine and masculine energy and at any point of the day. So like I said, I will go ahead and post slides about that, but I thought it was very interesting. And she said, when you're looking at this and looking at incorporating it into your USANA business, whatever your dominant energy is, try and see about different ways you can do fun things in your USANA business that balance out that energy. So if you are very dominant and masculine, what are some fun ways that you can go ahead and work in USANA that are very feminine so that you get some of that balance a little bit? And the other thing too, she was saying is that because network marketing is overall in the industry about 80% women, when you have a balance of the feminine and masculine energy, it'll be a lot easier for you to appeal to any female that is more dominant, you know, on one leg or the other. And then there was another training that was really, really good. And it was all about, I'm just flipping through my notes here really quickly. It was all about telling your story. And that was from Kendra Hall. She is amazing. She's a professional storyteller. So she goes around to different companies, different events, and she tells stories. I don't know if she will be at convention this year, but she was at convention last year. And then she came out to Sweet Retreat again. And what she was talking about was having it easy for you to go ahead and change your story. So one of the things that we do in USANA is we are constantly telling people stories, or we are going ahead and sharing other people's stories. So if it's something that you might be interested in, she does have a book in regards to it. It's really, really good. But she was basically saying, and she goes into more detail in her book about this, but there are 3 things that are required to creating a really good story that people can follow along with. So whether you're telling why are you in USANA, why are you taking the products, why are you putting your health first, why are you doing events, whatever question you are answering, if you can use some of these methods, it's extremely helpful. So the first thing in her systematic way of telling a story is finding the finding of the issue. So you're going along, let's use an example. You're going along, life is peachy keen, everything's cozy, and then boom, something happens. That's finding out, oh my God, something happened. You don't have to have an answer for it yet, but you have to have kind of that pinpoint turning method. And then the second thing is making it familiar with your character. So you want to talk about like, oh, my mom and I, you know, you want to just put like, not like we did. You don't want to keep it vague. You want to use actual people. So my son and I, my husband, me, whatever the scenario is, you want to actually pinpoint a person. And then the second thing that she was talking about in the storytelling is crafting the story. So she's talking about basically the finding is what was normal for you. The crafting was the oh shit moment of where you knew something had to change. And then telling them is the third part, and that is telling them what the new normal is. So when you go through all three of those phases, finding out that there was a problem, which explains what your old normal was, you know, telling the issue that you had, which was the oh shit moment, and then going into what your new normal is, it's very easy for people to relate to you. It's very easy for people to understand you. And then she was actually even saying that when you're telling a story versus throwing facts at people, whether it's your story or not, the person that you're telling a story to, their brain starts releasing oxytocin. And that is an actual chemical reaction that they're designed to use so that they can go ahead and have their brain pay attention more. It helps retention of what you are telling them. It helps make it easy for them to understand. And it also helps them be open to new ideas, whatever the answer is, whatever the story is. So instead of just throwing hard facts at people, try starting to look at how you can use stories as a way to explain what you're talking about or explain the answer. And then last thing I wanted to do, let's see, for Sweet Retreat is there was a section on branding yourself. So I know we talked about social media in Next Level You, and now we're talking about basically social media again in Sweet Retreat. And this is where I was saying, you know, Next Level You talked about social media in a very analytical and masculine way. Sweet Retreat talked about social media in a very soft, emotional way. So what they were saying when it comes to social media, if you want to kind of get more of a feel of what you should be posting, is, you know, make a list of things that you like and things that you don't like that other people are posting on social media. Not what you're posting, but what is it when you're scrolling on your phone that you'll stop and you'll look at? What is it that you're scrolling on your phone and you'll double tap to like it or click on the link? What are those things? And then write them down in a list. So to give you an example, I wrote positive phrases or affirmations. I love watching people accomplish something, whether, you know, I know them personally or not. I love anything with animals. I love before and afters. So it could be health before and afters. It could be business before and afters. It could be, you know, environmental, gardening before and afters. Doesn't matter the scenario, but I love befores and I love afters. And then the other thing that I like the most is hacks. So that's kind of my list of things that will make me stop and read or watch or look or click on a link in regards to social media. And then she also has you post on the other end, things that you don't like. So things that I don't like. I don't like rants on social media. I think it is mostly inappropriate. And I'd rather see someone like call up a girlfriend to do a rant than like watch it. I'll actually block people that rant too much. I don't like things that are overly sexualized. So it's one thing if you're being cute and you're being sexy, but when people are like, for what I consider borderline vulgar, I'll go ahead and block that. I don't like that. I don't like arguing on social media, and I don't like negativity on social media. So I wrote those two things down like the speaker had us do. And then what she said is once you've written down your list of things that you like and things that you don't like, when you go to sit down and either craft your social media message or start doing stuff and scheduling it out, this is a nice reference for you to be like, okay, well, these are the things I love. This is a really easy way for people to get to know me. Let me go ahead and start picking out different categories of things that I love, and then it makes it easier for you to talk about. So you can look and say, okay, I'm going to do a couple positive quotes. I'm going to post a couple of my accomplishments. I'm going to talk about my fur babies. I'm going to do a before and after post, and maybe I'll do a hack or 2 posts. That could be anywhere from 7 posts that you just talked about, so that could be a month worth of posts. But at least it gives you a general direction so that your social media, if a stranger stumbled across your social media profile and then they met you in the coffee shop 20 minutes later, they could be like, wow, this person matches. And that's the entire point of what you're trying to go for. And that's what Sweet Retreat was trying to teach us. You want whatever your social media platform is, you want it to match what it would be like if they met you in real life. And of course, there's going to be other things that they'll meet, but it's kind of like a super high overview of who are you, what do you like, what do you stand for? And that's kind of an easy way to go ahead and find out different things to post if posting is hard for you. Alrighty, I am going to take a water break real quick, and then I'm going to turn on your guys' audio to see if you guys have any questions before we talk about Celavive. Let's turn on the audio. Unmute. Alrighty. So, do you ladies have any questions in regards to what I just talked about really quickly from Next Level You or Sweet Retreat? No?
I don't. No.
So I guess it sounds like you should get that pass for Next Level You, huh?
Oh my God, I love them. I did Next Level You last year. I did Next Level You last year, and I did what is it? I did a convention last year. And like I said, it's different than Sweet Retreat. Sweet Retreat is a lot of the soft skills, but Next Level You has a lot of the really more tangible skills of how many times should you be posting a day? How do you do invites? How do you do this? How do you do that? The physical hows and whys. And there is a training in there that goes over the different personality types that literally I was willing to walk up to the person that puts on the event, and I was willing to pay him $100 just to have the recording of that one class. And then when I found out you could get the entire pass for that much, I was like, okay, sold. It is going over, like I said, the different 4 quadrants of the personality chart. And I like it because in different classes and things like that, you'll see people start to talk about different personality quadrants. So you have the driver, which is me, the overachiever, go-getter, has to check something off the bucket list, never enough. That's a driver. And then you've got the promoter. So the person that loves to put on events, loves to talk about events, never goes anywhere alone. That's a promoter. And then you've got the helper, which is someone that's always looking at how can they help someone, even if it is in harm to themselves, physically, spiritually, financially, the Mother Teresas of the world. And then you have the analyzers, and the analyzers want everything very black and white. They don't want, rounding to be off. They want exact critical details and no fluff. So one of the speakers did that class, but it's an hour-long presentation. And not only does he tell you about the different personality quadrants, but he also tells you about what their strengths and what their weaknesses are. And it made it extremely relatable. So if you are prospecting someone and you're like, wow, they're a really great person, but we just don't seem to be connecting. I've actually used it since then. I found it very easy to kind of see like what type of personality do they have. And then I've been able to tweak my messaging a little so that I can speak the same language as them, because all of us have all 4 of the personality quadrants in us. It's just a matter of which one's dominant more than the other ones. So I thought that was very, very useful. And, it even, is kind of useful as insight to yourself. And then he even went as so far as every personality quadrant. He had a song that actually explained that personality quadrant, and it should pick up in the video, but you could see the camera panning over to that section and you can see how they reacted. So the promoters, the people that love to do parties and all of that, they had a really upbeat poppy song, and no one knows what's going to be playing. So they jumped out of their chairs, they're screaming, they're loud. And then the helpers had their own song, and it was really cool. The drivers, we had our own song, which was it was Rocky's the Rocky fight song when he's running up the stairs. So that was ours. And then the analytical one, which was probably my favorite. So when we got to their section, he went to go play the song. He plays the song, and it's very soft, stringy, classical music. And you could see, like I said, I don't know if it'll pull up in the video or not, but you could see the entire section because we all had to move into our own quadrants to sit with your own type. You could see everyone in the analytical section start to sway. So it was interesting. Not only did he nail and be able to describe every personality quadrant, but you could see how when he described the good and the bad every personality quadrant, they all had the same reaction. They all would do the same hand cheers. They would all do the same yelling. They would all do the same thinking face. It was just absolutely fascinating. So for that alone, I thought it was the best thing I've ever learned when it comes to personality-wise. So that's why I'm obsessed with their version of that training. So yeah, I loved it. I can't speak highly enough of that class. 1 second, let me mute because the dogs are gonna.
I guess Ben's home.
Okay, so let's move on to the next section, which is talking about Celavive and Celavive bonuses. So Celavive launched while we were in, it is, of course, you guys on the call know, but anyone watching the recording, it is the new skincare line that USANA has come out with. And there was some really, really good ideas and examples as to how you could use Celavive to build your business or just kind of have some fun with it. Not everything has to be super strict and super analytical, but it's just a really fun way to build your business and bring in some income. So at the moment of this recording, they have not said how long they're going to do it, but they will be giving out a bonus of 25% off the retail amount for every full Celavive regimen that you sell. And I'm actually pulling up the slides on my phone real quick. So let's see. Okay. And another thing too, in regards to Celavive, so they keep talking about the full regimen, but even if you sold any single item in the Celavive line, you will still qualify for that bonus. All right, where is it? Okay. So one of the things that I really, really loved is there was a slide on how to take advantage of Celavive. So let me stop real quick and go back. So if you sell a Celavive regimen, instead of getting just regular commission points that actually go into your business, those points will go into your business, but instead of being paid on those points and matching and how the business normally functions, you'll get 25% commission right off the bat. So you could go ahead and, let's see, one of their examples is if someone sold 5 full regimens, so 5, either oily combination or sensitive dry combos, that would equate to a $306 paycheck that you would get from just selling the volume of the Celavive right out of the gate, regardless of the points going forward. Let me see. Yep. Okay. And so they were thinking of different ways that you can go ahead and use Celavive to your advantage. So there's, I have the post in the Facebook group, but it is if you did a certain amount of Celavive regimens and then you did a couple of the either makeup removers or you did some of the vitamins, that you could get a specific check amount, and you could also hit, let me see, shopping cart. Not only could you hit a certain rank amount, but you also could hit a rank and a check. Sorry, that's what I get for trying to scroll and find that slide at the same time as talking. There we go. Let me skip past that real quick. Okay, so the example, and it's posted in the Facebook group, is who wants to make $400 tonight? So if you sold 6 full regiments plus 6 makeup removers, you would get a $402 check. And because of the amount of points that are going into your business, you actually hit the rank of achiever. So that is a couple of ranks in. So that just kind of makes it a really easy way to start getting more volume and hitting more ranks in your business. And then some ways that you could go ahead and use Celavive in your business. You could do a Celavive experience. You could do a spa party. You could do a Be Beautiful campaign, which is actually a 28-day skin and vitamin campaign that USANA has already created in the communication hub. All you have to do is put, you don't have to put the program together. You just have to pick a start date, promote it 2 weeks out ahead of time, and then enroll customers. Another thing that you could do is kind of a Be Healthy, again, another program USANA already has in their communication hub, and then add Celavive to it. There's just a bunch of different ways that you can use Celavive. You can talk about it on your social media. You could talk about it with your friends. But for the foreseeable future, they will be giving out, like I said, that 25% commission right off the top, regardless of what your point volume is. So that is just a really fun way to do that. So what I've been doing is I've been sending out either 1 or 2 little questions to people that I think would have a really good time and have a lot of fun doing a Celavive experience. So I'm asking, hey, would you be interested in a spa party? ? Would you be interested in hosting a spa party? And then I'm adding in a line or 2, depending on their personality. I can say like, and of course wine is included or something like that. And then I'm seeing what they're saying. So let's see. Yeah. Okay, so here's one of the examples that I actually sent to someone. Hey, would you be open to hosting a fun skincare pampering party for your friends? And yes, wine is included. And then I've been tweaking that a little bit, but not really too much. And I've been sending that out to people, whether it's, female, sisters, wives, whoever, that I know that might be interested in that. And then you're going to get 1 of 3 answers. And it's a really good way to capitalize it. You're either going to get, yes, that sounds awesome. Let me get back to you with dates. And then if that's the answer that you get, say, that's great. Return and propose some dates, because not only, are you trying to fit it in for their schedule, but you also have to fit it in for your schedule. So have it already in your head of 3 or 4 dates that are going to be open of when you want to plan your next events, and say, that's fantastic. I can't wait to do one for you. Here's the 3 dates that I have available. Let me know which one works for you so that I can book it before someone else does. Again, it's that loving sense of urgency, but the conversation doesn't just die. And then they'll say, okay, not a problem. I'll get back to you. And then within a couple of days, make sure you respond out and say, hey, you haven't gotten the date confirmed. Which date do you want me to confirm you for? So then that way I can start, doing some stuff for you. So that's the first type of response you will get. The second type of response is going to be a no, which is totally awesome. And then say say this. Okay, thank you so much for the response. This is actually what I said to someone. Okay, thank you so much for the response. If you know anyone that is interested, send them my way. And I always give out referral goodies. Have a great day. So if, most people will be like, okay, cool, awesome, thank you. So if someone actually is referred your way, I always give that person a referral goodie. So it could be a couple samples. It could be a hand cream. It can be something small. It could be a $5 gift card to Starbucks. But it's nice, really nice way to say thank you. But you don't want a no to be like the end of the conversation. You want to be graceful in your no and say, awesome, thank you so much for letting me know. If you know anyone, blah, da, 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 da. Because you'd be surprised. Some people just start referring people to you, and you never would have known if you didn't ask. And then the third type of response that you will be getting, which is what I've been getting as well, is I'd love to, but I have no friends, which The third time I got that, I laughed. And I'm like, oh my God, I totally get you. Most of my friends either don't live in my area or they live overseas or they're in different states. I totally understand. Would you be open to coming to a party that I'm hosting at my house? And that way you could have, a fun spa party and you could do it at my house with all my girlfriends. So you could be included. Obviously I just butchered that slightly, but basically, for anyone that says, I'd love to, but I have no friends, invite them over to your place or invite them over to wherever you're holding it. And then say like, okay, would you be open to attending one that I'm hosting at my house? 99.9% of the time, they're going to say yes because they already said yes to the beginning that yes, they would like to do it. They just don't have any friends. And then what you do is you say, okay, great, I'll get back to you. Or if you know a date that you're hosting your own party, okay, great. Well, here are the 2 dates that I'm hosting my own party. I would do one month and one the next month. Which one do you want to come to? And then that way, because you're giving yourself at least 2 weeks to promote every single event, so you're always booking ahead. It's a lot less stressful booking out ahead versus trying to always book something for this week, because you want to think about people's schedules. You want to think about what type of obligations do they have? Do they have kids? Do they have fur babies? Do they have husbands? Do they need to get babysitters? Trying to book something out the week of is just a little too much. So at minimum, always do 2 weeks out when you're doing any of the events. If you can do a month out, that's fine. I would rather see you book the event and have a date and have 2 proposed dates, which is something that we learned in Sweet Retreat. Whenever someone says no to a program, but they're interested, always say, okay, awesome. Well, I'm running my next event program, 28-day, be healthy, whatever. I'm running my next thing on this date. Are you interested, or do you want me to follow back up with you? So now you're creating this list of warm people to reach out to so that when you're doing an event, you're doing a program, you're not starting from scratch. That is the worst feeling. So let's try and prevent that as much as we can. So that is what I have been doing for the past couple of days since I came home from Sweet Retreat. I have been sending out anywhere, and I'm mixing it up. I'm sending out anywhere from 5 to 10 Celavive experience invites a day. And then I'm just seeing where they're answering. And then I'm going to respond with one of those 3 things. They're either going to say yes, they're either going to say no, or they're going to say, yes, I'd love to, but I have no friends. And I have an answer for every single one that's feminine, that's graceful, that's super easy, it's not taxing. And then when it comes time to actually booking your Celavive experience, it's honestly just a spa party. There is a there are so many tools in USANA's Communication Hub that I am like flabbergasted at how many tools and products and printouts and videos that they've put together for you. But to be perfectly honest, all you got to do is you got to have your little Celavive kit with you. You need to have some bowls, some cloths, and then hopefully something for women to pull their hair back, just so you can be courteous, and maybe some clips or some scrunchies. And then all you're going to do is you're going to ask, okay, everyone that's got dry sensitive skin, sit on this side of the table. Everyone that's got oily combination skin, sit on this side of the table. And then you're going to put whatever products, match them up, the people to the product. And then you're going to say, okay, we're going to start with the cleanser. Then we're going to go to the toner. Then we're going to go to the moisturizer. Oh, no, we're going to do cleanser, toner, eye cream, moisturizer, and then you're done. That's it. And then as you're doing it, you can talk about the product. And if you don't know the answer, that's totally fine. Just be like, you know what? That's a really great question. Here's a brochure, or let me get back to you. And if people are hesitant about it being irritant on their skin because they have super sensitive skin, which I do, so I totally understand. I'm always that person that's like, well, I've got really sensitive skin. Say, okay, awesome. Well, did you know that the skin on your arm right here is pretty much the same skin that's on your face? So you can still participate, just when you're doing everything, do it to this skin and not your face. And then that way you can see how your face reacts without, accidentally freaking out and getting a rash. So that way they don't feel left out, because I've been left out of these events and no one ever told me up until Sweet Retreat that this skin is pretty damn near the same as this skin. And then the other thing too, to make it fun, because, the mechanics of it is that you're setting people up depending on which type of skin that they're saying they are They're going to try every one of the products and then you're done. But to make it fun, to make it exciting, to make it a spa party, which is what I'm calling it, versus a Celavive experience, or whatever you call it, think about having fun fruity drinks. Think about having wine. Think about having some little hors d'oeuvres for them to try. Think about having, maybe, depending on how fancy you want to go, little, to-go bags of samples or whatever, like little party favors. Think about doing before and afters. Think about doing fun truth or dare, like kind of make it a sleepover without the sleepover. Think about saying, hey, feel free to wear your pajamas to the spa party. Whatever you feel comfortable with, but kind of bring up the level of fun so it doesn't feel like a sales pitch. It feels like a fun night with your girlfriends. And then at the end, when everyone has tried everything, all you have to do is have your little stack of order forms ready and just say, if anyone's interested in ordering, obviously make sure it's current at that time, but if anyone's interested in ordering right now, anyone that orders a full regiment, they're also going to get a whatever goodie, whether it's something that you're throwing in or something USANA's throwing in. So right now, USANA's throwing in a free little care bag for all of your skincare products when they order the full regiment. And if they're like, oh, well, I'm just wanting to try one thing, not a problem. And then you take it, you already have the order form printed. All you have to do is go ahead and write out their information, and then you move on. It can be really simple. It can be really fun, and it can be a really less stressful way to build your USANA business, because again, you're going to get your volume from doing the actual events and selling the products, and you're also going to get the 25% commission. And then it's also a really fun way, if someone, you can even say at the end, hey, if you know anyone that wants to either host a party or have me do it for them, let me know. I love referrals. I give out referral goodies. And again, a referral goodie can seriously be a $5 Starbucks gift card. Or you can do themes. I'm thinking of doing themes for the one girl for super busy moms, like spa party for super busy moms. Because one of the girls that I reach out to that's interested in doing it, all of her friends are super busy moms. So you can be like, okay, let's share some mom gossip. What are you struggling with right now? What's working? What's not working? Just really focus on making it fun. Don't focus on stressing yourself out on the mechanics, because the mechanics are so simple. They try the products. They get told that they have an opportunity to order the products. They get told of the opportunity of what is the free. There is one at that time, and you move on. That's it. Alrighty. Does anyone have any questions for me in regards to either Celavive parties, experiences, events, anything Celavive related?
To get the bonus, did you have to have a new account, or is it like anybody? I forgot.
It has to be, they said new preferred customer, but basically it has to be a preferred customer that has not ordered Celavive before.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Any other possible questions for me? No? Okay.
I think I'm good.
Alrighty. Well, I hope you ladies have fun. I hope you have a good night. I'll go ahead and let you go. And Rebecca, I will be, by the end of this weekend, I will be booking my 2 dates. One for this month and one for next month, when I plan on hosting my own personal Celavive. So I'll let you know. And then that way, if you want to go to it, if you want to bring any of your friends to it, I figured it's just like, it's like throwing a Super Bowl party. The more people, the more fun, the better.
Right. Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I will let you know of the 2 dates that I'm going to come up with by the end of the weekend. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
I would like to say that the Tokyo office is going to do an event on March 3rd.
Oh, really? So are you going to try and have that be your event?
Yeah, mine as well, right? And they're going to do 2 sessions. So I was thinking of doing
Yeah, you might.
And then booking somewhere for dinner right afterwards near the area.
See, that's super fun. That's super fun. You don't have to worry about eating. You don't have to worry about cleaning your face or any of that.
Yep, and they already have all the order forms. The presentation's already done.
You just have to bring people there.
Yep.
Nice. I love it. Well, you'll have to see if you can either record it or come back and give us the highlights of what they did, because everyone, you know, even went through the Celavive experience and Sweet Retreat, and everyone's experience, they're going to host it all slightly differently. So it's just interesting to see what people do to, you know, to personalize it a little bit.
True. Yeah, I'll see if the recording situation, what it'll be like.
Yeah.
Usually there's like another lady recording. I could ask her what she's going to do.
Okay. Awesome. All right, my ladies. Well, I will let you go. Have a good night, and thanks for being on the call.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.